So here is the data visualization workflow. This is my part. I am doing the data visualization, data exploration of this compressed natural filling stations in the alternating data set visualization. So here we have loaded the data. That's useful. Then we have described the data, and this is some basic info about the data, some basic statistical properties of the data. So here the data exploration starts. I have filtered out my part of the columns, which are the compressed natural gas columns, different attributes of the compressed natural gas. Then here I have identified the object columns and label and coded some of the object columns here. Then I have plotted the histograms for identifying some statistical properties of the different attributes, different columns in my data. Then here showing the null value percentage. Then we have plotted box plots to identify the outliers and remove the outliers accordingly. So here we have plotted the box plots. So you can see the identifier for different outliers for different columns in the dataset. So is that, and then we using the interquartile range method, we are removing the outliers, imputing the outliers with this data. So here's that. Then we are dropping some columns and handling null values in this section. So here we are dropping the null values. We are dropping these null values because later this dataset will be used in the clustering techniques. And we are dropping some columns, which is CNG PSI, which are not much needed. As seen, they are not much needed yet. So now we also plotted the correlation metric to see some correlations among different attributes, and then later accordingly plot these uh, values. So now here we are using the clustering for clustering techniques for CNG data. Here we have used that, and after that we have used scatterplot to plot correlation of different columns. So here is the scatter plot for that. And then we have started with the data visualization. First of all, starting with basic visualizations of CNG dispenser numbers. Here the visualization process. In the visualization, it is very prominent that the majority of the values are dominated in the range 0 to 5. So this is the first inference. So in the later visualization, we would cut down the data to 0 to 5, clean some data, and then visualize to get a better visualization and understanding of this column. Then we have CNG on-site renewable resources. Here is a pie chart of that. There is another column in that which is none. We have neglected because it was the major part of this data. So here is a pie chart of this. Then we have CNG total compression capacity. We can see it is skewed to the left side. And then we have also a violin chart for the distribution of CNG total compression capacity. After that, we have a violin chart for the distribution of CNG storage capacity. We can see CNG total compression capacity, CNG storage capacity have very similar violin plots. Then we have CNG fill type code, count of CNG fill type code. In this, we can see CNG fill type code Q is very dominant. The ratio of that is also very high among different CNG fill types. And then we have CNG vehicle classes. This also the HD vehicle class is very dominant among all other vehicle classes. Now see visualization for CNG station sells renewable natural gas. Here is the distribution of that. Then after that we have relationship. We have tried to plot relationship between CNG fill type code and CNG dis, dispenser number. So here is that one. Then we have correlation between CNG total compression capacity and CNG storage capacity. Here is that visualization, and then we have impact of CNG on site renewability. CNG stations sells renewable natural gas. We can see that the CNG stations which sells renewable natural gas has the majority of on-site renewable resources, or we can say all of the renewable resources. Then we have also plotted relationship between CNG vehicle class and CNG dispenser number. And then here we have inputted some values. Then here are some of the inferences we get from this, like CNG stations as a renewable natural gas tend to have impact on other parameters, so plotting multiple parameters against it in the later visualization to get further insights. Also, as mentioned before, violin plots of CNG total compression capacity and CNG storage capacity show quite similar trends, so plotting different parameters against both simultaneously will also get us further insights, and also we can reduce the range of the CNG dispenser number as majority of the values are in 0 to 5 and dropping some null values. We can get a better visualization of the CNG dispenser number. And also CNG field type code type Q is dominant, and in CNG vehicle class type HD is dominant. And also HD commands the major statistical properties. So plotting individual HD, LD, and MD, we can get different insights like how LD varies with different variables and that. And now here are the updated visualization. Now here is the new visualization for CNG stations as renewable natural gas based on gathered inference. So here is CNG. Here is a scatter plot of that CNG storage capacity, CNG total compression capacity, and also the colors indicate whether the station sells renewable gas or not. Zero for not and one for yes. This is a new, and this value is the data set where we have removed the outlier. So we can see here are some of the outliers, and here are the majority of the values. Now the majority of values can be magnified, and we can see a better visualization of how these vary. Now then we have the new visualization for CNG total compression capacity, CNG storage capacity. They are quite similar violin plots. Now in this visualization, it can be better understood which particular value has the majority of the fueling stations lie in which particular value. So from this color scheme, it's quite we can visualize easily. And here is pair plot for compression storage capacity and the total compression capacity. And from this on, and now we have the distribution of CNG dispenser numbers as we are told, from range 0 to 5. It has the majority of the values. So here we have removed the outliers and shortened the range, so we can see a better visualization of how majority of the values vary. And also we have the updated CNG dispenser number and vehicle class uh, uh, plot, which this is after removing the outliers in this plot. Now for CNG field types, code Q was pretty dominant, so we have plotted it individually with different parameters to see its variation. So we have plotted with compression capacity, then we have plotted it against storage capacity, the Soilian plot, and then there's a pair plot for compression capacity and storage capacity to see the different analysis. And we can see the compression and storage capacity had similar trends before, also before, with all the field type codes. So we can see Q basically dominates the statistical properties of these because majority of the values are in Q. Now we have new visualization for CNG vehicle class because HD had dominated, so we are plotting everything individually. So first, here is the scatter plots for HD against compression capacity and storage capacity, and then we have the count of field types against the CNG field type, the count of field types against the vehicle classes. Here we can basically see the for LD, MD, and HD. It's the count is very different for BQ and T. If we had only gone for the major values, we can see only the statistical variation would be more towards the HD type. But plotting it individually, we can see that LD and HD have different statistical properties with this. So this is all for the visualization.